And we have joining us now the news to discuss the impact of the abduction of the girls from their dormitory on education in the Northeast. Civil society activist Ahmed Shehu joins us now. Ahmed, it's good to have you join us on the news right now. It's been 9 years. Does it look like Nigeria is moving on without the rescue of these girls?
Well, thank you for this opportunity. Actually, from us, the civil society, it's really a great source of concern looking at what happened and almost 9 years ago, and considering that it's still happening. So the question is, what are the results? What are the effort of this advocacy that we are making? And what are the effort of the various researches and then conferences said in order to ensure that this thing doesn't happen? Just of recent, after the election, you see something, another one happening in one of the communities. So I think for me, what we're advocating for still, and especially now that we have election and a new government is coming in, we're asking for a window of opportunity and a political will for us to continue these particular processes. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. All right.
So we're looking.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you.
And especially with this new administration, we are expecting a new political will where all these lessons that were learned will now be translated into reality, especially with this recent reintegration effort, where you have about 100,000 Boko Haram who have been surrendered, meaning some of them are already part of this act that really happened. Why can't we engage them to ensure that those others that were not released, we can be able to have them freely? This can only be successful. We can only be beat our chest and say, yes, we have peace. When those people that are now returning back to the community have provided opportunity to bring back those girls that were really at their captivity. So I think it's a wake-up call for us as we commemorate this day on a sad note. We all have to go back to the drawing board as all stakeholders are making effort to make education very appealing. So however appealing it is, security and safety of the student is of paramount importance, of which everyone has to play a role. And priority, the government has to take the lead on this process.
Mm. All right. It's 9 years now, but government has promised at every opportunity that they will do whatever it will take to bring back these girls. But we're not seeing that. Although some of them have been rescued in the past a few years ago, but what's the assurance from your perspective that these girls will still be found and returned to their families and homes?
Okay, as a critical stakeholder, I am optimistic that we're going to find these girls. If not now, maybe in the near future, because of these windows of opportunity that exist, and because of the stories we're getting across that some of them are still alive, although a lot of water has passed under the bridge. But I'm very optimistic that something is good is going to happen, especially with the fact that now we're going to have a transition of a new government. And that new government is starting with the responsibility, especially having the vice president who was the governor that when this thing happened. I'm sure he would take it as a responsibility to ensure that he write his name in gold by ensuring that these remaining girls were returned back to their families. And education in Borno will make more conducive and effective so that people can be able to go back to school and read effectively.
All right. The Chibok girls is only used as a metaphor. We can't forget Leah Sharibu and so many other girls that have been, and even other students, even boys that have been kidnapped in the past. Some have died and others, a few others rescued. But when it comes to the impact of this on the interest to enroll more students into school, what impact do you think this constant or regular or intermittent kidnappings will have on school enrollment, especially in the north?
Okay, especially unfortunately also, the northern part of the country, based on the recent index provided, we are leading, especially Yobe, Borno, and Adama and others. We are leading in terms of level of illiteracy. So meaning, coupled with this 13 years of insurgency and this constant attack and kidnap that is happening, it has really taken us over 100 years backward now. So most of the youth now are traumatized. Once you mention about going back to school, others the kids. They prefer to stay at home without education rather than to go to a school where it is not protected and they're going to lose their life. So I think for me, a lot of effort were on the ground. Most stakeholders and us where we have this Nigeria have already signed to substitute declaration, meaning to provide all these facilities where school needed to be safe and enticing for youth. A lot of effort are being put on the ground, but I think more still needed to be done, because if these girls and then the remaining that were abducted are not returned back, definitely other youth will not feel enticed to ensure that they go ahead to conduct to participate in the education process that will translate to national broadband development. But there are lots of effort, as I mentioned. The subsequent declaration that the federal government has signed, there are a lot of like educational process by major local civil society and international organizations that we are partnering with that are doing it. But I mentioned before, more still yet needed to be done, because if it's still persisting, then I don't think people will be motivated to go back to that. So all stakeholders, the school need to be made so conducive, the atmosphere need to be so secure, and the youth and the others, even the general system need to be reinvigorated so that people will know that, yes, the only options they have is to go back to school. But currently, as I'm talking to you, the only option people have of being safe is not to go back to school, especially in remote communities.
All right. Ahmed Shehu, thank you so much for talking to us, and thanks for your insight on this.
Pleasure.